Hi everyone, my name is Saman. Sukriti is not here.
And my name is Zachary Willmore.
And you're watching the Pregame Diaries.
Dating life in the industry. These girls are spilling tea.
You're watching the Pregame Diaries with Saman and Sukriti.
Alright, so obviously Sukriti is not here. We are currently in Mexico, Playa del Carmen to be exact. And yeah, tell us who you are, special guest.
My name is Zach, and I do a lot of content. I've been filming TikToks since high school. Honestly, my biggest thing is self-expression and authenticity, and honestly, being a carefree young ho. I want to live my life to the fullest, and I really care about making change and speaking my mind, but I also want to enjoy my life, and I think that that's a balance that I feel like isn't shown online. Like, I feel like a lot of activists feel like they have to be serious, and I just don't. Like, I can shake ass and talk about political issues.
I agree. So tell us more about like your upbringing. Where are you from? Where do you live? What's like your journey? And how old are you? Let's talk about that.
I'm 22 years old. I used to live in Missouri. Now I live in San Diego, and I'm gonna move up to LA this summer. So
you're revealing your secrets.
Ooh, yes. But honestly, growing up in Missouri was nice. The people are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like San Diego has given me a lot more opportunities social media wise, and I've been able to get my name out a lot more, which I've appreciated.
Why did you move from Missouri to San Diego? That's obviously a big move. San Diego is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, tell us more about that.
Honestly, I've always dreamt of California. It's been so idealized in my mind. It is gorgeous, but like my Sweet 16 was Coachella themed.
We met at Coachella, by the way.
True, period. And like, I just felt like there's something more. Like, I love Missouri, but it doesn't have the same opportunities. It's not like they're gonna fly me out to Coachella if I'm over there. So I just knew that I felt like really strongly that's where I belong.
Mm-hmm. And what was the process like to moving to Missouri, to getting into the school you are in right now, and what was your journey like? Tell us more about that.
So I applied to a couple California schools. Actually, only California
schools. I was gonna ask that. Did you only apply to schools in California?
Yeah, my parents made me apply to Mizzou, which is like a school in Missouri. But other than that, I was like only Cali. I got into SDSU and like a couple other ones. I really wanted UCLA originally, but honestly, after visiting LA a couple times, I feel like it might have eaten me alive moving straight there.
It's a big school. Is SDSU a big school?
Yeah, SDSU is a big school, but San Diego's like just a much more relaxed LA, and I appreciate it. Like, it's slow paced, it's very easygoing, and I think that that's like been my vibe, so it's been perfect.
What's been the biggest life change, or I guess cultural shock, from Missouri to San Diego?
Honestly, just the speed. Like, even moving to San Diego, people move quick. Like, they have places to be, people to meet, and then honestly, even the way that people talk. I remember first of all, I didn't even really process that I was going to be fully moving until like I was like, yay, San Diego State. And then the day came and I was like, oh my God.
We're going to San Diego, babes.
Yeah. And I remember getting there and
How was the moving process like?
It was fine. Me and my parents drove there, so.
That's very sweet. And your parents are very supportive. That's something I really like about like Zach and your upbringing. Like, you are who you are because your parents help to they don't really judge you from what I've seen, and they like accept you for who you are and encourage your being. Like, we're on the phone, you're telling your dad like everything you've done here, and we're not being well behaved, and they're just like,
no, they've called me before, and I'm like, I'm sorry, like I posted cheeks like bare ass booty naked on the gram, and they're like, you know what, babe, like, we don't really understand how you live your life or like what goes down sometimes, but you do you. Just be safe, have fun, love you, queen. And I'm like,
and I feel like that's very rare for is it in the Midwest?
Yeah.
For Midwestern parents.
It is. Like, it's kind of here and there because I feel like my city was super supportive. I don't even have a bone to pick with Columbia, Missouri. Y'all were so sweet to me.
You literally were homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. How do you feel? Okay. So I guess let's get more into, number one, let's talk about how we met, and then we're really gonna deep dive into your history on the internet, okay? So we met at Coachella. It literally was the last day of Coachella. And I actually saw a mutual I know, Griffin, Maxwell Brooks, and then we all were like, hey, and then I recognized you, and I was really especially excited to like meet you and see you. You were like in this skimpy black outfit.
Yeah.
And we just like instantly clicked and sort of adopted each other that night. And we made plans to meet in Paris. We went to Paris. It was supposed to be Ibiza first, but that didn't work out. So we chose Paris, and then our second time seeing each other from that is Mexico.
True.
Don't drink the water. Okay.
Mexico.
Yes. And I feel like what made us both connect is how open we both are. Like, we just literally were like besties from minute zero, like minute one. And then obviously we're here. So.
I love how carefree Saman is. I love how like free-spirited and whimsical you are. Like, I feel like you're so just authentic to yourself as well. So yes. I do feel like I was drawn to you because I could sense that. And like
authenticity. Yeah, I feel like the real can recognize the real.
I agree.
All right. So now that you guys have that little tidbit of information, we're really going to get into all of the tea. So what made you want to become an influencer, and what has your experience blowing up on the internet been like? When did you start? How long did it take you to blow up? What did you want to be when you grow up? How does it compare to what you do now? Let's get into the real tea.
Honestly, it was during COVID, like a little bit before, and I was on the cheer team. A lot of my friends, TikTok was super new at this time. And they were like, babe, you should really honestly just start posting. I've always been crazy. Like, ask anyone from my high school. I was on one from day one. So if there's any proof that like I have been an authentic bitch on the internet, like I really have stayed true to who I am. But I started posting. It honestly took off immediately. At that time, though, it was so much easier to blow up.
I was such a hater. Like, one thing about me, like, I hate things when they're, like, new. I'm like, ew, what is this? Like, Snapchat I hated, and then my stories would end up being, like, 60 stories long. Same thing with TikTok. So it's interesting that you took advantage, or were encouraged to take advantage of TikTok when it was first, you know, that rebrand, because it used to be Musical.ly.
My first account did actually get banned at 600,000 followers.
Really?
I accidentally, like...
What year?
This was 2020.
Wow.
And I restarted. It was totally my fault. I posted, like, I was practicing, like, a dance video. I was super tired. I slept naked at the time. So I just, like, practiced naked. And I wanted to slow it down so I could, like, watch it and see, like, what I was missing. So I posted it to private. And TikTok can actually look at your private videos. So...
Oh, I thought you were about to say public.
Girl, no.
They wouldn't have let you on that period.
No.
But that's interesting. So what were your first videos like? What inspired, like, where did you take inspiration for these videos? And what was your reaction to blowing up?
Honestly, my first couple videos that blew up were just really creative. Like, there was this one, she was a fairy trend. And I did that. It got a lot of traction. I think that people just thought I was interesting because I feel like at that time, there weren't a lot of gays as open on the internet as I was. Like, we had James Charles, we had Jeffree Star, and then I guess interesting twink who posts about at that time I blew up because I posted this series Dancing Until I'm Not the Most Hated Gay Guy at my school, and you can't find that series anymore because that account is gone. But it got really big really quickly. People loved it. I honestly was so dramatic for it, though. It was literally because I had beef with one single person. And I was like, everyone fucking hates me. Like,
and that's how you turn a situation around. It's like, you're a hater, I'm a creator, okay?
And then since then, like, I really have changed my content with the wind.
So what were people's first reactions to you? Were you getting hate immediately? Like, tell us that experience.
Oh, yeah. No, they hated me. Not any more or less hate than I get now, I have to say. I mean, probably a little bit more, but...
How did it make you feel to receive hate on the internet?
Honestly, upset. I've never been bullied. I've always been accepted by my parents.
Okay, Missouri.
Yeah, literally, show out. So I got that online, and I was literally like, what the hell? And I kind of posted more because of it. Like, I was like,
So
okay.
it fueled you. So
Mhm.
kind of your way of coping with the hate was just to post more.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting. I feel like it's very hard for people to do that, especially like mental health is a really big thing right now. And obviously, being a creator online, you're exposed to way more scrutiny than you would be if you were just, out and about in your daily life.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of people take that hard, but I feel like you've persisted. Like you've grown an account to 600,000 followers, lost the account, and still you chose to post, and you're where you are now. So I think that's very interesting. Tell me more. Tell us more.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, I loved it as a creative outlet. I had so much time on my hands in 2020 because we were all in lockdown.
So what did you want to be then? What did you see yourself doing in the future? Did you have an idea?
Literally no clue. I wanted to be like one of those TikTokers in the hype house.
That era?
Yeah, that was like main goal 2020. I was like, I'm gonna get there. Like, it's so fire.
But
and
even
then-
before that, like in high school, did you like what did you want to be when you grew up?
Honestly, I think always something in business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now that I've actually done the marketing major stuff, I do find it a lot more unethical than when I was in high school, like kind of dreaming about my future.
Yeah.
But I've always liked clothes, so I was thinking maybe owning my own clothing brand.
I can see that for you, yeah.
But I was honestly a little bit lost. Like, I just kind of was living in the moment. I was like, it doesn't matter. Same with how I am now, though. I'm
I
like,
was gonna say you are a very present person. Like you really take the fullest advantage of the present moment. Okay, and I really admire that as well because I feel like I'm like that as well. Like I feel like something you do that I do notice a lot. You care a lot about what other people think about you, but at the same time, you are a creator and you post to fucking millions of people every day. So it's kind of interesting for me to like see. But I kind of get it. Obviously, like you're everywhere. We walk out and they're like, they recognize you. We're in Mexico, we're in Paris. Like you're always being watched, but you still are authentically yourself. And I think that's really, really good. But I can see business for you and I can see clothes. Like you express yourself through your clothing. So I guess talk about your journey with clothing and social media.
I didn't really start dressing femme until TikTok. I do owe social media a lot for that.
That's very interesting.
I had so much fun putting together outfits and getting views like really motivated me. I was like, okay,
I wanted to say that. Like, I feel like every era you've grown with every TikTok era. Like, you kind of morph yourself into these TikTok aesthetics. Talk more about that.
Yeah, and I always kind of have a slight idea when I'm going into things. Like, I knew, especially the biggest change I think was going from Missouri to California. When I got accepted there, I was like, I really have to show out. I looked up like California. I got a bunch of like pink tweed outfits, pink, glam. I was going for very Paris Hilton.
But do you feel like it was authentic to you at the time?
I do. I really do. It's always been authentic to me. Even my punk era, which I know has been super controversial.
Talk about that.
And I know punk is a lifestyle, so don't catch me on that. I am still punk, by the way. I've always been. But I dress with my emotions.
I used to say that as well. Like I would dress how I'm feeling. I don't particularly have an aesthetic myself. I literally just dress how I feel. Like armor. If I want to wear armor one day, I'm going to wear armor. I feel like the way you live life is very similar to how I do because we're avatars. You can dress however you want. You can be whoever you want if you choose to take the actions and steps towards being that. So that's really good.
Thank you. I agree. And same with you. Like, I love that. Your armor stuff is amazing.
Thank you. All right. Now, let's get into some more questions. So, what is the influencer world like? Are the girlies nice? Do you feel like it's a glamorous life or a dream? Would you recommend it to other people?
I would. 100%. It has so many opportunities for you.
Talk about some amazing opportunities that you've gotten from being an influencer.
Number one is always going to be activism. I really don't make a lot on social media. Trust me, we would not have stayed in a hostel first thing if I was rolling in the dough. But that's my biggest thing. I've always wanted to have a platform for speaking about what I want. And I've been able to get interviews with like MSNBC, NBC, Washington Post, Fox News, which was a surprisingly good one. I know. It was back in 2020. They were kind of more woke then.
Yeah, it's gonna change.
And then, yeah, so it's really pushed out what I've been trying to advocate for.
And what do these opportunities mean to you in your future? Because I feel like when like our idea of an influencer, if I were to ask them that, they'd be like maybe like Fashion Week, or they'd be like, oh, I was flown out to Coachella, or just things like that. So I guess what do these opportunities mean to you, and do you feel, I guess, a way because maybe you're not getting those opportunities? Are you getting those opportunities? Talk more about that.
As of now, I am being surpassed for a lot of things. I am being put out for a lot of events, and literally my manager was like, oh, they said no. Like, it was that one audio basically from Big Mouth that's like, Barack Obama said no. But I have had a lot of opportunities like that. Like, I got a free ticket to Coachella, free housing a couple years ago. I get most of my festivals for free. There has been a change, though, with this new administration about just kind of what brands are looking for. I've been told, like, they want more buttoned up content. They want a little bit more conservative. Like, they want clean girl. They want not controversial, not political, not too scandalous, basically everything that I'm not. And even being a feminine gay man in this time period is controversial to them, because they're just not even from a business perspective. I mean, I've studied it for 4 years. It's not as profitable right now, so they're not working with as many feminine gay men.
So why haven't you made the change to cater more towards what these brands want?
Oh, I mean, I tried. It's so miserable acting in a way that I don't feel is authentic to me. Like, last year, I was talking to my manager. I was like, I know that you want me to be more of a, like, influencer who makes money, and I want to make money for you because, like, I am your client, and I feel like when I don't succeed, I know that you don't succeed as much. And when I was doing the get ready with me's, the day in my life, the things that you can really profit off of because you can, like, jam pack those full of ads, I was so miserable, and the videos were flopping anyways. My entire junior year of college, I'd say, was just floppy Anna boots. Like, no one really talked about me. I didn't have any hate, which is a good thing. But when I'm not getting hate, by the way, it means I'm not doing enough, because...
Very true. That's interesting. So what makes you keep going?
Honestly, the people who've told me that it has changed their lives, and that dressing the way that I do, posting the way that I do, has encouraged them to be more authentic to themselves, because I know that I'm not going to represent a large population being scantily clad and loud, but by being authentic to who I am, it encourages people who might be, like, struggling in other ways to find themselves to just keep pushing, because they'll look at me and they'll be like, oh, if he can literally, like, post whole on the internet or speak his mind or speak politically, even though it's not in style, even though he, like, then I can do whatever. And I think it's even more powerful that I think the reason that I have been blowing up so much recently is because even though the trend is to be more clean girl, more zipped up, there's a large population that does not want that. There's a large population that is wanting something completely different. And I represent those people. Yes.
And I admire that a lot. So tell us some crazy, never before stories you've experienced as an influencer. Spill some tea.
Okay. Well, I guess going back to the influencer world, my first influencer event ever, I was like, I went there and I was so new, baby influencer, and it was like a NYX cosmetic event, and I was like, hi, my name is Zach, what's your name? And I will not out this influencer because I'm about to move to LA and circles run small. And also, it's been years, like, everything's forgiven, but they turned to me and they're like, oh, I'm blah, blah, blah. You don't know who the fuck I am? And I was like, oh no. And before I could even finish, he turned around and, like, waved me away. And I, like, went and cried in the bathroom.
It's a he. Go find them, guys. I'm joking. But that is very disheartening. So I guess tell us more about that world. Do you feel like other influencers accept you? What type of influencers influence you? And do they feel like they accept who you are?
Honestly, yeah. I think now I definitely have secured my space as an influencer. I go to these events now They know my name. It's been actually crazy I thought that when I came to SDSU, I had peaked because when I was in Missouri, 2 girls knew me at the mall and wanted to take a picture.
That's so sweet.
Now I go to LA, I walk into a room, everyone knows me. Not even to be like cocky or anything.
But what does that do for your confidence? Because it's not a bad thing to want that and like that.
It makes me keep going. And then also, it's just nice. Even though I'm not sure, although, like, let me gather my thoughts.
Okay.
I feel like being recognized and having like more of a name in the influencer world and has been good because I don't know. For me, I don't feel like I'm there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
what
like
would be there for you? What are you looking for from this?
I mean, it's weird because I am happy with where I am at. If I stopped right now, I would be fine not growing anymore. I just also kind of feel like I should keep pushing for some reason. And I feel like it might come later when I realize what that is. But I hope, honestly, I hope to be someone that not only a small demographic of people can look up to, but I want to be someone that people tell their kids about and they're like, live authentically. This is a version of a person that has done that has shown what living authentically can do. And I want to show that being ourselves can be successful because I feel like, especially in a world where corporate dulls us down, I use that as a specific example, but there's so many industries where you have to like strip yourself of who you are, your personality, the way you dress, anything individual about you to make a check.
Yes.
And I want to just be someone that is myself from start to finish and is still successful.
So the legacy you want to leave is authenticity and being successful, being authentic. I like that a lot.
Especially like even in the modeling industry, which is crazy. I snuck into Milan Fashion Week and I was talking to the models. A lot of them are gay and they're just told that they can't express themselves, can't post anything feminine because it is more appealing for the general populace to be seen as straight and to be seen as someone that like more individuals would find attractive. So
this industry is very hard. So we talked a little bit about this before, but how much money do you make as an influencer? There's been a lot of discussion and discourse on influencers and how much money they make. Like a lot of people think influencing is an easy job. So I guess you can also answer that. Do you think influencing is an easy job?
It's all about comparison, I guess. I mean, compared to working in a coal mine, hell yeah. But I'm never going to be the type of person to be like, try being an influencer for a day. But it is hard. There was a whole period last year where I didn't go out of the house as much because I was so socially anxious about being filmed in public and posted, which did happen a lot. And I would like get the videos back and I was like, dang, this is nice. This is putting me in a good light. But what if someday my public reputation changes and I'm being filmed in public for being ugly, or I just have a bad day and it goes viral for the wrong reason? So it's really mentally draining. And even Saman has seen through this trip, like, I do post a lot, and the thing is, I will post what I want and do whatever I want, but then at the same time, I'll be like, whole pic, and then I'll be like, wait, everyone thinks I'm a slut. Like,
you do read the comments and things like that, and I think that is very mentally challenging. Even if there are good comments, sometimes maybe the bad can stick out more than the good, and that like creates this whole experience for you. Like your brain is probably is very different from my brain because every day you're on high alert. Like, am I being recognized? How are people perceiving me? This, and that. So it kind of translates from online to real life. All right, now to spill the tea. How much money are you making as an influencer, if you care to share?
I'd average it out to be $33K a year.
Wow, so that is like
I
not a lot.
Clock into McDonald's and work 50 hours a week, which is a ton. But yeah, it's not as much as people think. If I was a different type of influencer, I would be making more. Like I have people who have told me that they have like 300,000 followers. They only get like 10,000 views a video, and they are making like
so
6K.
Much. Yeah. So my background,
6 figures.
6K.
I know.
So I work in social media management. Like I know this industry as a creator and behind the scenes. So I know that like literally, especially the influencer world has changed so much. Like we have affiliate creators now. We have people who can make money on things like TikTok Shop that are regular everyday people who have less visibility than you but are making so much more than you. So why don't you try those things and entering those spaces? And I guess, how do you feel that you're not making as much as these other people?
I think that it's honestly going to be a benefit in the long run because I don't come off as someone who, no one can say that my punk era was for profit because I made a big fat zero from that one. In fact, I lost a couple hundred. But I think that TikTok Shop is something that I might look into because at a certain point I do have to make money, and moving to LA.
You are graduating soon. Are you excited to be graduating?
I am. Took me a while to get here, but yeah, I'm finally excited.
Here. Yes.
But yeah, I didn't do TikTok Shop for the longest time because I didn't want to seem like my content was for profit or for anything else but me.
Are you concerned about people's comments that they would make? Like, what makes you most concerned about transitioning towards that? Because a big part of being a creator, and I feel like you exhibit this when you like follow current trends and like the dances you do, like I couldn't do them, but you make an effort to learn these things and to put them on your page to get that visibility. But why doesn't that translate monetarily for you?
I just think I'm not what the fans want to see. I mean, I am what the people want to see, but I think that I post a lot of the times knowing that it's not going to get money. This whole trip, babe, the brands are exiting my chat. Not that they were there in the first place, but I'm fine with it. I also come from a pretty privileged background. My dad's a doctor, and I'll be the first one to admit, like, I have been afforded the benefit of not necessarily needing it while I've been in college because my housing's paid for. And I make enough to do what I want, go to the clubs. So
and that is a privilege. You do have the privilege to be yourself. So I guess, what message would you like to share to people who want to be authentic and want to take that path but are not so fortunate?
Honestly, I've thought about this a lot because something that I think about at night, I'm like, wow, I want so many more people to be themselves, but it doesn't go over my head that it's a luxury and that a lot of people are forced to either like work from like middle school to college or just don't have the funds to, or even the what's it called? They can't risk being themselves in case it even compromises their future or career. And I think that there is a balance. Like, for anyone watching this, just figure out what your main goal is in life. I know that mine is to make an impact and to speak my mind and to help people. And there is a lot of compromise that goes on in the real world when we're not like growing up privileged and stuff. So just find out how you can speak your mind, how you can stand up for what you believe in and still make a living. Because you don't have to completely throw out money, which we all need to survive, out of the equation. But if you're going to corporate or something, find little things. Even if you can't post that you're going to protests, go to protests. Even if you can't dress how you want to during the day because of the job that you unfortunately have to work to make money and survive, wear stuff at night.
I agree. Quite literally, my brain was saying, even if it's a small step, it's still a step towards an authentic you. So I like that answer a lot. So now we're going to get a little deeper, I would say. So what made you make the decision to be so open about your HIV on social media? How has this impacted you? And do you feel like you've helped other people and helped to change the stigma?
So when I first did it, I'm very used to filming myself. I film the highs, the lows, everything. So when I first got diagnosed, it's so funny because the day of, I was crying so much, I like forgot to make a video and I was like, oh my God, like I'm so fucking stupid. But I mainly also, well, actually I didn't think about that until weeks later, but when I was posting. But when I originally was posting, it was mainly for myself. and just talking myself through it and the emotions, I did kind of have it in the back of my mind, like if this was something that I ever wanted to post, that I would have it in the TikTok format that I usually do. So like I talked it out, but I also, the first like couple days was like, this is day one. Like I started it just in case I ever wanted to post it. Then kind of thinking through it later, I was like, a lot of people don't have the support that I did. My parents were so supportive. When I told them about my diagnosis, they immediately booked me on that flight. And we don't have a lot of sexual health education in Missouri. I didn't know what HIV was.
That was going to be a question that I wanted to ask you. Were you educated on HIV before your diagnosis? And did getting HIV make you like deep dive into the research, deep dive into the stigma and things like that?
No, 100%. My dad was really helpful because, again, he is a doctor.
Very helpful.
So he kind of walked me through a little bit of the basic medical terminology, but he doesn't work with that specifically. So I talked to, when you get diagnosed with HIV, by the way, in most states, at least in California, you get assigned a social worker because it's a lifelong illness. They have to keep track of that sort of stuff. And also it helps because suicide rates are so high for people who are diagnosed with HIV, which kind of leads into the second part of your question. I absolutely think that posting about it helps people. I still get messages and people telling me in person to this day that it has helped them or helped someone that they know kind of process their emotions, kind of figure out what HIV is, and just to kind of break down the stigma, because at the end of the day, it sucks that I have it. I was distraught in the moment. I thought my world was ending. It was the worst day of my life. A couple years down the line, I can honestly say it hasn't affected my life that much. I take my pill in the morning. I don't have any of the symptoms. I can't give it to people. And I am happy in the aspect of that I have been able to help people.
I would like to share that I actually saw your video when it came out, and it brought me to tears. I remember where I was like on my living room carpet, and I just was like, I like felt for you, like, because you are so young, and it does like feel like a life-changing thing. And I like that you said like your life is essentially the same, other than the fact that you just have to take a pill every day, which most people take pills every day for things like depression, anxiety, heart medication, and things like that. So I think that the fact that there is such a stigma is unfair. And you've also helped me to, not even that I thought much about it before, obviously, like, you know, your parents warn you, you see the pamphlets, you go to sex ed class. Well, I'm from New York, so we had those, like, I knew about what it was. And it does feel like a scary thing. And, you know, like, back when HIV first went rampant, people didn't even want to touch people with HIV. And I still feel like that's kind of still a thing. Like, they don't maybe want to be friends with people with HIV and things like that. So that just kind of opened my world in that regard. Like, okay, yes, this sucks, but it's manageable. Like, it's very manageable, actually. And I think that that's very interesting. Like, we've been friends, like, it doesn't, like, there's nothing that I'm worried or scared about sitting next to you or being next to you. And I feel like a lot of people still have that fear, or still feel like it's this crazy life-changing thing. But what you showcase on the internet and just how you live your everyday is kind of opposing that, like, mindset people have. Like, you can still live your life, you can still have fun. You had a partner for, I think, about 6 months. You still had a dating life. You can't transmit it. So why is there still such a big fear?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that it's just kind of, I don't even want to say it's malicious in people's fear. I think that it's just a lack of education surrounding the topic.
Agreed.
Most people, it's the thing that makes it so scary to people is that it's not talked about. There hasn't been anyone who's been like forward about it, at least that I know of. If there have been other influencers, which I'm sure that there are, who've talked about their journey, props to you guys. But like, it's kept so under wraps and so hush hush. I still get comments like, why do you even post about this? If I had this, I would never post about it. And it's like, that's the reason that people are still so scared of this, because they haven't heard anything since tens of thousands of people were dying. I think it's even hundreds of thousands. So it's such like, So if that's the only thing people know about it, of course they're going to be cautious. Of course they're going to be nervous. I don't even think that, I mean, it kind of is homophobic to an extent, but it's not the reason that most people are scared of it. The reason is because they genuinely think that if they get it or they touch me or if they come into contact with someone or even drink out of the same cup as me, that they're going to die.
Yes. And have you had people react to you in that way? In person, online?
Yes. When I went to a frat party, like the week I posted getting diagnosed, because I did wait a little bit until I was on medication, so that when people asked me what I'm doing about it, I could at least be like, I'm on the meds. But yeah, I went to the frat and they were like, hey, everyone in Zach, hold on. And I was like, oh, okay, sounds good. And they were like, hey, like, we want you to have a good night, but are you okay to be here? Like, are you going to get other people infected? Are you going to, if someone drinks after you, are they getting HIV? And I was like, no. And even with my lack of sexual education, I kind of thought that it was widely known that you couldn't get HIV from saliva. But same with like someone in my dorm came up to me and was like, yo, bro, like you're faking it, right? And I was like, what? And he was like, you're faking HIV for clout. Like you don't actually have AIDS, right? And I was like, girl.
Well, those are two different things. That's right there.
Exactly.
They're the same, but two different steps of the same. So let's start there. But that's very interesting. And I guess, how does that make you feel? And do you like that you are a voice for HIV?
I do. And I do want to say, I think that people misunderstand why I post about it, or they think that I'm downplaying it. I understand fully that my life would be a lot easier without it. It's expensive to get medication. If I wasn't on healthcare, girl, it would be $6,000 a month.
Wow.
I didn't even, when I said it the first time, I was like, no, there's no way. And I double checked, like, yeah, in the States, if you don't have insurance, there are programs obviously to get it for free and stuff, but it's crazy. And I'm not downplaying it. Obviously use protection, but yeah, like in the long, like I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna end up with a hot husband. I'm gonna still have a career. I'm still gonna make my bands. I'm still going to dress how I want, be who I am. And what was the second part of the question? I kind of got distracted.
I honestly forgot as well. But I agree. Oh, it was, how do you feel that you are like a voice of HIV?
At first, it was like a big fear of mine. In one of my videos, I even was like, when I start posting this, my biggest fear is that that's who I'm going to be. I'm just going to be known as HIV instead of everything else that I've done. And I haven't found that to be true. In fact, a couple of years down the line, I find that most people either just like, it's not at the forefront of their minds when they look at my videos, you know? Mm-hmm. A lot of people, even when I post, they're like, oh, I completely forgot that you even had this. So I think that that's also kind of powerful in a way, because I do mean to post more about it, and I think that in the future I am going to try to be more educational about the way that I go about it. Mm-hmm. But it at least shows you that people have a really short attention span. So like, don't be afraid to be who you are or to even say that you have the diagnosis, because people are going to be shocked at first. It is a shocking thing to say. It's a shocking experience to have. Mm-hmm. But 2-3 years down the line, anyone is going to be like if you stay in contact with that person and continue to like just hang out with them, it's not going to be who you are. Even me as online and how big it got, how many articles I have, it's still not who I am.
That is very true. So my next question, which we kind of talked about as well, is how do you deal with the hate and the pressure of being online? Like, you recently had, number one, the video you posted on New Year's where you were harassed in the bathroom, and then you had this punk aesthetic that a lot of people supported, but also a lot of people didn't support. So let's talk more about that.
Yeah. The hate that I get in person is actually, it's funny. I'm actually safer because of social media for the hate in person, because I feel like whipping out my phone is an instinct for me now, because people most of the time, the New Year's incident is strange in the fact that most of the time when I pull out my phone, people shut up. I've had so many times where I'm like, call me a fag again. And they'll literally be like, what? But sorry, I know this is a serious topic. But for the hate online, I think that I've learned to realize that the people who get me, and the people who don't will at least they're coming into contact with someone like me. At least they're kind of, even if they don't understand me right now, at least I'm someone that in the future, if they see someone else like me, they're like, oh, this is like a little bit more normal, or like they understand who I am a little bit more. And people like me, because I feel like a lot of the reason that I've blown up in the gay community is a lot of gays see themselves in me, even if it's not entirely. I am crazy, and I represent a lot of the things. Gays are crazy though, and I think that the gays, when they watch my videos,
love the gays, but you guys we're crazy.
Yeah, and they see my videos and they're like, oh, that's something that I would do, even if I wouldn't post it in a million years.
Did you make money off the video from New Year's?
Oh yeah, thank God. Actually, that's how I'm on this trip.
Literally everyone in my life that knows that I'm friends with you hit me up like sending paragraphs on paragraphs, even like at work and things like that. So many people were so concerned, and you literally like reached everyone. And how did you take the support you got? Because so many people made videos, think pieces, and things about that video.
I loved it, honestly. For the first time, I didn't have any hate. I looked through so many of those comments the first week, 2 weeks, not a single hate comment on my TikTok. And it was so beautiful, because I went into that thinking that was kind of going to be like my homecoming story, where it was super divided and people were going to be like, oh, he deserved it. Or I just didn't know the reaction. And it was really heartwarming to get that type of support, because which I will never thank MAGA again for anything, but they supported me on Twitter, and I was so shocked.
Wow.
Like, both sides were kind of like, and I think it's because I put the piece in where I was like, you don't want trans women in the women's bathroom. I'm a man, and I identify as a man, but you don't want men in the men's bathroom. And I kind of cornered them in that regard, because they're like, well, damn, like, he's right. But it was just shocking at how far it got, and just even with the political climate, that I still received that type of support. Because I think that, especially right now, I was not expecting that type of result. Like, people are going viral and facing no consequences for saying the N-word on the internet.
Yes.
People are going viral or like being blatantly racist, homophobic, and like not facing any consequences. In fact, gaining a ton of followers from that sort of behavior.
Yes, that was going to be my next question. Did you think about the implications that it could have on that boy's life, and did he reach out and apologize to you?
Oh my gosh. ChatGPT to apology, in my opinion.
That is becoming a trend.
Yeah, because and I know it was insincere, and I'm glad I didn't respond to it right away, because the type of person I am, when I got I didn't check my phone for the first like 12 hours because I was like overwhelmed by it. But when I did and I saw his response, I also saw other creators like I butchered his name, but there was a huge creator.
I think I actually did see his videos, yes.
I really appreciated him, by the way. But he kind of sent me a DM, and he was like, hey, just to let you know, like, he was reaching out. He kind of gave me his side of the story, and he did end up posting a video with the other guy's side of the story, which didn't make sense, because he was like, oh, Zach came up to me in the urinal and he was like being creepy. And I was like, in the video, I said I used the stall on purpose to avoid confrontation. So how are you going to say I came up to you in the urinal? When you, even in the video, when I said I went to the stall, you said, yeah, I know, because you're a bitch. So he was like, that's ingenuous. And then he also said that the other guy reached out to him and was like, and if he identifies as a boy, then why did he win Homecoming Queen? Kind of just trying to start stuff and throw that in there to cause, like, to change the topic and get people to be against me for a different reason, which you can think what you want about the homecoming thing, but that's a completely different topic, and that was not related to the issue at hand. Not only that, but I think that I know for a fact that if he didn't get the backlash that he did, if the video didn't blow up, he never would have apologized. He never would have thought twice about it. And I think that he was definitely not expecting the result that he got, because he said it so bold. He literally was like, post it. I'm not sure if you could
did, and as you wish.
Yeah, as you wish, babe. As you wish. But yeah, that guy's life, I think, is also going to be fine. If I'm being completely honest. Yep. He's still going to get a job. It's not even like he got kicked out of the college or his frat. Like, he faced some social repercussions for shitty actions that he did. And I think that that is fair.
I also agree. All right. So I guess let's talk a little bit more about the homecoming thing. So it resurfaces on the internet over and over and over. I think it recently did as well. And I think some comments I saw were that why couldn't you win homecoming king and the gender of it all? How do you feel about those comments, and how do you feel about that regard of the situation?
In the moment, I wasn't thinking that deeply about it. Like, I even got called up for Ellen, for the Ellen show when I first got it, but she ended up not taking me because she was like, "Why did you choose homecoming queen?" And I was like,
Ellen.
Oh. And I was like, "Oh, I just thought I looked prettier on the sash, and like I wanted to wear a dress and stuff." And she was like, I mean, also though, it does have a deeper meaning than when I told her. Like, queen has been a name to disparage gay men for a long time, and I think that it was part of my reclamation of the word, and I will stand by that. But also, it was one winner, male or female, and it was a popular vote. It wasn't like
Exactly, they voted you.
Yep, and I didn't take a girl's place because it would have been a girl or it would have been a guy. Either way.
There you have it, folks. And why is it your business? This is a small town in Missouri. Like, let's relax.
I know. It is funny though that that's the thing that keeps coming up. Like I got a notification the other day. My friend was like, "You're trending on Twitter again." I was like, "Oh, what could it possibly be for?"
Let's pick out the Rolodex.
And it's just like keeping me. Thank you for keeping me relevant. I will say, but
actually, like, imagine not having. It's like Mariah Carey.
Right. Yeah.
Alrighty, so we're actually almost done. This has been a great conversation. So my last two questions are, number one, where do you see influencing taking you? What do you want to do and be in the future? I think we talked a little bit about that. If you want to share more, feel free. And then I have one more question after that.
Honestly, I want to make an impact. Again, I've said that word so many times. Buzzword of the day. Impact. But I want to hopefully be able to speak my mind more publicly. I'm hoping that I'm going to continue to be, I want to be better organized in the future, I will say. But I want to just post for fun. I want to live a fun life. I think that things naturally come up in my life. Nothing that I've gone mega viral for has been on purpose, I will say. Homecoming Queen, I did not expect to blow up. HIV, I really did not expect to blow up. Even like the thing in the bathroom, I did not expect to blow up. Those are all things that have naturally happened in my life. So I'm just going to keep recording kind of my life as a personal diary. And I think that things will find me as they have so far. I don't have any intentions of really changing up the way that I post. Maybe I'll change my look, obviously, as I grow and as I become more of a developed person. But I want to go dance when I go up to LA because I just can't do corporate. I would do corporate, but it's going to limit my style.
What I will say about corporate is I think a lot of people have this stiffened idea of corporate. So I recently had to kind of shake my friend awake about that because obviously I'm Armor Girl and it's gotten me a job, and obviously that's not too great. And also, like, I have a online presence and things like that. And my job had accepted me for who I was and chose me because of like my out of the box ideas and my personality and things like that. And my friend also had that same mindset of like, with corporate, you have to be this certain person and certain thing. But the thing is, even though that's true, it's also untrue because a lot of we're in an age of new money, and a lot of the people that are making new money and building these companies and things like that, they have the same mindset of us as expression. Obviously, there is a line where it comes to, are you going to be an HR violation?
Yeah.
But you don't actually have to be one certain way. You can be very expressive. You can be who you are. There's people who go to their corporate jobs with pink hair and tattoos and piercings and things like that. So I just want to say, have more of an open mind when it comes to that, especially because you have built this huge audience on social media. There more than likely is a company out there for you. Like, even I can go on LinkedIn right now. There's a lot of queer-owned companies. There's a lot of things like that who would obviously be way more accepting of you and who you are than, I guess it's a matter of like, how you live your everyday. how you want to and things like that, you can do that in your job as well. You just need to look for jobs that would fit who you are and that align with your ideals. And obviously corporate does change your life. And like, you're very free right now. You're able to post wherever you want. Obviously you're in school right now, but you're able to travel to Mexico when you want, things like that. So that's something that's going to change when you're in corporate. Like, you have to be working 5 days a week and think there's PTO, there's this and that. So that is the hardest thing that's going to change. But in your job search and looking for a job and things like that, and this is a message to just anyone out there, look for things that align to you. Yes, the job market is horrible right now, but something I like to say is if you put your energy and time towards something, you're inevitably going to get what you want. A lot of the jobs I've gotten were because of my personality. And my friend who I had this conversation with, who I had to shake her awake, she's working an amazing job right now. They literally hired her for her personality, and everyone around her is not obviously exactly like her, but they're very open and accepting and whimsical and fun. Like, they just, this very night, she pitched an influencer dinner just for our friend group. Obviously, I'm in Mexico, so I couldn't attend, but they're sitting chilling with her boss, and it's just all of their personalities in one room. So that's just some advice I want to give you regarding corporate and regarding the next step you're going to take in life. And that's also my advice to anyone watching out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
I am excited about go-go dancing. It's not like I'm doing...
You're young. Go dance.
But I also think that you're right. Like, I do kind of have a misconstrued perception of it because low-key, I think not the whole reason, but there is a part of the reason that I'm dressing so scantily clad right now. And it's because when I was like really thinking about corporate and like stressing about it, I was like, I want to be me. I want to post like scantily. I want to be.
Maybe you're projecting.
I think I am.
Yeah.
But that's
It's
okay.
not a bad thing. A lot of people have that mindset. We've all grew up with this idea of corporate, but things are different now in that regard. So, do you have any advice for someone trying to be an influencer in today's age? How can someone succeed, especially with the oversaturated influencer world?
Differentiate yourself. It's only basically been 2 years of marketing because the first one's like undergrad and stuff, or like associate's degree. But for 2 years, all that's been drilled into my head is differentiate. How are you going to make your brand stick out? How do you make a brand stick out? You either have to change the proportions, the color. You have to like make things stand out. And that's the same for influencing. You are marketing yourself at the end of the day. So find out what makes you you, what you're good at, because if you're pretending to be someone that you aren't going to last because it's hard to keep up that persona.
That is very true.
So find out what you're good at and what makes you you and your unique parts about yourself, or the things that you like to do that are unique, and then go after that. Because it is a lot harder than when I got started, but it's not impossible. And a year ago, I literally remember telling this girl, I was like, babe, like, just do your best. Like, it's like pouring my heart out. I was like, you got this, but like, it's really hard. If you don't make it, don't worry, because it's just like, it's basically impossible right now. And she literally got like 300,000 followers that year. And I was like, you know what? Go you, because I had it in my mind that it was a little bit harder than it actually was. And I think that a lot of people can take that. If you think that you can do something, you can. And let's start there.
That is very true. Combine belief with effort and you can get there. And I have one final bonus question. Where do you see yourself in, let's not go the traditional 10 route, let's go 20 years from now. Where do you see yourself 20 years from now?
I want to have my own clothing brand. I'm still trying to figure out how to make it as ethical as I can, because it's just hard. Like, the labor mixed with the costs of everything, mixed with pricing, and you want to make it affordable, and then like the environmental aspects that go into it. It's a big process, especially starting out, like, to figure out how to do it in the most ethical way. But I at least know employee wise, I want to have a business like Ben & Jerry's, which not now, they did low-key sell to private equity, which is why one of the brothers left, but they worked on a cost structure where the person at the top of the company could only make up to, like, I think 6 times what the people at the bottom of the company made. And I think that that's more than fair. I want to have a company where people earn a livable wage I want to have a company where people enjoy to be there and where creativity is expressed. So I think that even if corporate isn't as harsh as I think, I want to be the change in the corporate world that I want to see, because I do still think that there are some things that you can't do. Like, you can't post. One of the biggest things for a lot of companies, unfortunately, is politics. I've had a lot of people come into my class as guest speakers, and they just drill it in. They're like, don't post about anything political. Just keep that to a minimum, especially when you're trying to get hired. And I don't think that that should be a thing. I think that politics are in everyone's lives. It's weird that you can't speak your mind, even that, like, you are giving up your freedom of speech in certain aspects for a lot of these jobs, even if it's not all of them. So I want to be the change in the corporate world that I want to see.
I like that answer.
Thank you. Oh, I have a question for you.
Of course. Ask away.
What inspires you? What has inspired you to keep your whimsy and keep your joy and to keep pushing and being authentically yourself?
I like that question. So I feel like this year has been a little bit hard for me to do that. So I recently made the decision to quit my job because I feel like I sort of lost a part of myself, and it was a part of myself that I liked the most. Not that I'm unhappy, not that anything in my life is going wrong, but to still like feel depressed and feel anxious, especially because I'm not that kind of person, kind of like woke me up out of this like sleep I feel like I was in. Again, nothing in my life is going wrong. My job gave me a lot of opportunities. I traveled, I met cool people, I loved my coworkers, but recently I woke up to the fact that I'm not who I was. Like last year, I said was like the best year of my life. That's all I was raving about last year, and even during New Year's and things like that. But then I realized like a lot of my identity was kind of quieted down. Now, for my situation, it was kind of different because I feel like when I first started my job, it was really hard to get to. Maybe I'll make an episode on that, but this doesn't discourage you from going to corporate. My situation was just hard. And I chose to be there because I liked what I was doing. I liked being there. I liked my impact. But when things change and when things become toxic and when you lose a part of yourself to feed into someone's, dream, and you're not getting the same things back, it kind of makes you lose yourself. So that's why I left. Again, don't leave your job. But I had to, for examples, like I had to go in person 5 days a week. Obviously, I'm creative and things like that. So I had to prepare myself to be in an office 5 days a week and only have 2 days to myself, or have a little bit of chunk of time after work or in the morning to myself. And it kind of didn't make sense for me to be doing that anymore. I felt myself becoming less creative. I felt myself becoming less authentic. I like to look good, feel good, and I was just going to work looking any type of way because I'm like, I see the same people every day. You have me on Instagram. I'm not that chopped, okay? Am I chopped now? Yes, but that's not that. So I feel like right now my answer would be way different than it would be maybe a year or two ago. I feel like finding what inspires me to be whimsical and authentic is leading a life that you choose to live, not really kind of similar to you, not that you are forced to live for survival. I feel like I'm fortunate as well because for a lot of my life, I didn't have to choose to have a corporate job and things like that. I just made things work because I put so much effort and so much time and authenticity into them. And the fact that I was not doing that anymore kind of took away my whimsy and authenticity. So right now I'm on the journey to answering that question. And one of the pivotal moments for me is one of my directors at my job asked, like, what do you want your career to look like in the future? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. And then she reiterated the question, like, it doesn't even have to look like what you want your career to look like here. And I was like, my answer would stay the same. I don't know. But if you asked me before, I would have that answer straight out and laid out. And I realized that's not what I want anymore. So I think what inspires me to be creative, whimsy, and authentic is choosing yourself being brave and knowing that you kind of dictate your life. If you want to do something, then do it. It's quite literally that simple. And I've wanted to quit my job for a while now, and it became like a running joke because a lot of people left, if I'm being honest, and a lot of people were fired, if I'm being honest. And it was like, okay, I'm still here. I'm still here because I'm liked. I'm still here because I'm good at my job. But at the same time, I don't have to be here. I'm here because I'm scared of different, because I was so used to one thing for so long. So if you're going to be authentic, and if you're going to be yourself, and if you're going to be whimsical, do things scared.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to say about that.
That's a beautiful answer. Do things scared.
Yeah, do things scared. If you grow too comfortable with not being happy and things like that, you're gonna, like, when I hear that people stay in the same jobs that make them miserable for like 20 years and things like that, my brain just cannot fathom that.
Same.
And I feel like people have grown accustomed to being complacent. Do things scared.
Period.
All right. Thank you for talking to me today, Zach.
Of course. Thank you for having me on.
Of course.
This was a really great podcast.
Yeah, this is a great conversation. Thank you so much. All right. Bye, guys. Make sure you're staying tuned, subscribe, follow, keep updated. More episodes to come soon. Bye.
Love you, baddies.